Hello, 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 take two. It is Rosanna here, channeling RozyGlow. How you doing? Happy Friday. It's so funny when you get yourself set up to do something and then the computer says no. And that is just one of the things that we have to kind of bring in with a sense of humor, because I'm going to go straight into the prayer, but it's all about deserving today and loving up your poor me. Now, I've had quite a lot of feedback on my daily prayer musings from 2 days ago. So Wednesday, the 9th, I think it is. Like, check it out. It was quite a lot about sexual energy. I'll make sure that it gets uploaded onto YouTube. But very interesting, because at the moment I'm really moving into that realm of exploring that connection between creativity, sexuality and fertility. And for those of you who know me, I've been doing a lot of work since 2003 in the field of pregnancy and fertility and birth and postnatal recovery. And I've just been going backwards in time towards the genetics and towards the imprints that we have prior to conception even. So how we're influenced by our parents' take on the world prior to even being conceived, because the egg and the sperm that bring us together are programmed from 3 to 4 months before they're actually released. So it's really interesting when we start to play around with being multidimensional beings of love and light. And yeah, I've just had to move my focus to where my passion is at, and it's right here. So let's get this prayer going. Now, look, today I'm going to feel like it's a bit of tough love, but I speak to a lot of people on a daily basis. So if anyone ever thinks, oh, I think she's talking about me, just bear in mind that I speak to about 10 at least people a day. So there's usually an amalgamation of different stories coming together, and I'm seeing the threads. And that's why I do these prayers, is to kind of put forward the antidote, the medicine towards what's going on. So I hope you'll always take it in that spirit and know that when I am practicing a bit of tough love, it is because I love you and you're ready for a kick up the backside to end up in a different place. And that's what I do, compassionately, with grace and with ease sometimes. Ask anyone near me. No, I'm not premenstrual, I'm ovulating. Good morning, diamonds. Feeling deserving is the key to co-creating what is desired consistently. It takes commitment to keep showing up as we stumble on our way to align with our divine path. The ego will come to sing the dying swan song and make a fuss, asking for one last dance. Letting go of parts of you is quite hard, even if you are through, because as humans we get attached to that which we know, even if it's loads of crap. It's our choice where we choose to focus. Our divine design timeline is the jewel in the lotus. Hello, Cherie. I am patient with my process. I am letting go of ego bullshit. I am that I am. Okay, so these poor little me's of ours, little me that's never going to get out of the place that I'm in, little me that has it worse than everybody else, little me that it doesn't matter how hard I try, I just can't work it out and it just isn't working. I love you. You've got to love that bit of you, okay? That's the bit of you that gets projected outwards when you're about to take a leap. And so what happens, like every child that is going through a developmental process, we regress before we take that next developmental stage. We regress into what we once were. We look back at it and we go, are these the glasses I want to wear? Is there another pair of glasses I want to put on? Which are the glasses of love? And whenever I find people spiraling into their doom, I'm like, wow, you're about to get what you asked for. And you might not actually want what you asked for. And this really ties in with my fertility work, okay? Because I haven't yet published much on the last group of Conceive with Ease. But, you know, for those that got pregnant, they cleared their blocks to aligning with that and getting pregnant. For others, it was a journey of, well, do I really want a baby? I think I want a baby. But actually, maybe that idea and the reality don't actually match up. And this is one of the places that I take people, is that it is really important to examine those things that you feel absolutely certain you want. Because often they can be things that your ego identity wants to basically prove that their existence is valid. Whereas when you kind of get a little bit deeper, there can be a lot more questioning that might well lead you to where you actually originally were, where you originally wanted to go, to the original desires you had. But often our focus is one thing and actually our deep desire is around something else. And this is what the Co-Creation Success course is very good at doing, uncovering your blind spots. Next time we're running that is in August the 18th. And that will run for 6 weeks. But for anybody who is keen to do something amazing now and to dive deep into a huge transformation, I'm taking breakthrough calls for the next Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me course, which may be combined with Conceive with Ease. So if you're thinking about wanting to do the group program rather than one-to-one of either Conceive with Ease or Fearless, there's going to be loads of testimonials going up over the next few days, few weeks, because ultimately the next graduates are saying their piece and where they're at. And we always look back on the people before. And this is the point, is this journey is a trajectory. It doesn't just start and end. I have people who've done group coaching with me that then want to do one-to-one. People who've done one-to-one then want to do group. Ultimately, you ain't going to discover your blind spots yourself. I don't discover my blind spots myself. There's so much I can do and I can have my aha moments, but those really deep ones that keep me stuck where I am, that takes people who are really skilled at being able to call you out on your bullshit to be able to go, oh, you see, you're doing that again. And we become masters once we have practiced something again and again and again and again and again. So I've been called out a lot of my own BS, and I've had to call myself out when I've seen it and to see it in others as well. We see through eyes of love. We want to support people to have a breakthrough. Now, I wanted to talk about grounding, because sometimes what I see is people are very interested in high energy are attracted to this work. So people who love a high, I love a high. And actually, do you know what? Even the people who don't drink and they don't smoke and they don't do this and they don't do that, they still love a high. There's botanicals everywhere. There's cacao. There's like, give me something. We love to alter our state of consciousness. There's nothing wrong with that. There's just the question of whether it's interfering with you being able to co-create what you want in your life. You know, if that's what's happening, then that is an issue. But again, loving yourself through what you do that you feel you shouldn't be doing is really important in order to step over that, because the yous, right, the conscious mind you that is you now is rational. But the bits of you that are stuck in habits and patterns that are keeping you in a loop, they are not rational parts of you. They are stunted parts of you. They're parts of you that are stuck in a loop of consciousness, usually below the age of 7. So you're having a conversation with a 2-year-old. Have you tried having a conversation with a 2-year-old that's having a tantrum, or a 1-year-old who doesn't know what they want, or a 4-year-old that is trying to come to grips with the world outside of their house? It's really hard, okay? So loving up compassionately the fact that the parts of you that are going to do their dying swan song, and the ones that are going to want to have their last dance with you, the poor me, the inner saboteur, really. There's lots of different layers to the shadow, but this part of you, there are different aspects of you, just like there are lots of different crystals in the bowl that I'm looking at. So you allow yourself to bring love to them, compassion to them, and then it's like, are we done now? Let's move on, shall we? We don't want to keep this going. And then you've got to allow that bit of you to dissolve and die. Here's a really good little, this is a mudra. So you basically put in here the mini me that you're letting go of. Lots of love. And then with your lingam, crunch it down into a fine powder. And that could be fairy dust. Yay! And when you're ready, you just go on. Bye-bye. Love you. Come back to me as my evolved self. Come back to me as the me that I want to energize. Be patient, be creative. Like, you've got your whole lifetime to do this, but you do get to a point where the better it gets, the better it gets. And it really is like that. It's not like this, okay? And I'm so excited at the moment with what's going on. I'm going to read the prayer again, but the bit on grounding. So yeah, I'm seeing people say, I want this, I want this. And then they get it and they go, ah! Because not all of us is ready for it. That's why working with the physical, emotional, mental, spiritual bodies is so important. That's why you can't just work on one level. And where you work will be different all the time. The physical being does need to be strong to handle the energy that you're pulling in. If you keep your channels clear, you are able to transmute things that are around you, okay? So in a dietary space, I have to say I'm kind of exploring things, because I went from pure vegetarianism, veganism, to then being a pure carnivore for a while. And now I'm definitely not a pure carnivore, but I'm finding my place, and I love my coffee and I love my chocolate and I love a glass of wine. I'm like, okay, I'm not supposed to love all these things, and I'm not supposed to, you know, do well on them. But my body tells me when I'm not happy, it swells, it's sore, and it's like, okay, knowing when to detox this time of year. And it's very much about us like letting go of the judgment and starting to observe how things make us feel, blessing everything that we put in us, And basically just giving ourselves permission to explore our psyche beyond the conditioning that we've had, to explore our body, mind, spirit complex beyond the conditioning we've had. Different disciplines, they have different ideas you can follow, see what works for you, but ultimately you are going to be your own greatest teacher. So invoking your higher self and your divine design timeline to guide you as to make the choices that are right for you is really, really important. You know, we can be teetotaling, mung bean eating, puritanicals and still get sick because of our bitter and twisted judgmental attitude towards things. We can equally be really like on that path and not have any bitterness and any judgment in us, and that's absolutely fine. There are others that do very well on other diets and other lifestyles. Like, I'm not here to say this is right and this is wrong. I'm going to be working with my lovely Lula, who you'll be meeting soon, to explore different ways of approaching nutrition and our bodies as we are ascending, and being able to pay attention to what does work for us and what doesn't, and being open to that shifting all the time through the seasons, as well as through our own lifetimes, because we need different things at different times. But essentially the key thing is going to be to not give up on yourself. And if I read the prayer again, this whole thing about deserving anything that you actually want, that you truly want, you deserve to have. And it is about allowing yourself to have it. So it's about realizing that a part of you may be saying, I want this, I want to focus on my business. But actually your deep inner truth is, I want to focus on relationship. I want to focus on having love in my life. And that's okay. You just have to get to the truth of what's most important to you now. And once you get there and you strip away on the rest of it, it all comes into being. So the grounding thing, grounding, earthing, anchoring. We cannot pull in high frequency energy without earthing it. That's what grounding is. It means moving it through your body into the earth, giving it to Gaia. That's our service as humans. We're acupuncture needles of love light that bring love light onto the planet, into the planet. And our vibration affects the planet. It affects everyone around us. So you make your choice as to what frequencies you want to vibrate to, and then you allow the resistance to that to come up. When it comes up, you don't judge it. It's what's the resistance. You've said what you want, grace and ease, or whatever else is important to you. So what's going to come up? Struggle, resistance, rage, judgment, all the stuff that's not helping you be in grace and ease. Put it in the sphere, love it up. That's what we do with my work. So get in touch if you need some help with that. You can't deny where you're at. You are where you are, but where do you want to be? Let's get clear on that, right? And sometimes we have to get really into the mundane. Sometimes we just have to wash our hair, put our makeup on, non-toxic, put our clothes on, self-care in the most basic and simple way. And this means embodying. This means stepping into your body. This means allowing yourself to switch off from the stuff that at the moment you're integrating, and just to come back to this physicality, this here and this now moment. If you can allow that and not judge it as a bad thing, or as you failing, or as you somehow being off path, you're not. But remember also, I want to talk about anxiety and depression here. So these two extremes of a nervous system that's out of whack, right? So anxiety can then be represented as excitement or mania, and we get all like, yeah, about everything, right? And then the slump of that overexhausted adrenal gland and the overexhausted nervous system then takes us into a place where like, I can't do anything. And I just want to eat chips and paninis and donuts and chocolate, right? So it's like, okay, these are the extremes. This makes me feel heavy and grounds me, but it doesn't feel so good in me. And this sends me off and burns me out, and that doesn't feel so good in me. So how can I actually find my flow through this? That's where the sideways figure of 8 comes in. And you can literally just take it through your body. And it's like, okay, so let me just do this in a less extreme way. If I am in a position where I'm feeling like there's a lot of energy coming through, then I know I need to give that to the grid. Give it to the crystalline grid, yeah, like pull it through me and earth it by giving it to the planet, around the planet, and then into the core of the planet and back up through us, right? If you're feeling de-energized, you connect to your earth chakra, to the crystalline grid, and you pull your energy up through you and you clear it. The upward energy is a liberating current. The downward energy is a manifesting current. So when you're like inspired with ideas and you want to make them physical, bring that energy through you, down and out, okay? I talked in a couple of days ago about how you can use your sexual energy to help that move through you downwards and also upwards, okay? So if you're then needing to pull the energy up through you because you're feeling despondent, you're lacking motivation, Sometimes you just got to shut down and just pull it up through you by breathing it up through you and out and energizing your field. And a really wonderful acupuncturist, Dave Bennett, who is Marine Clinic, awesome if you are in Rottingdean or nearby. Good luck trying to get a booking with him though, because he is very, very heavily booked up. Basically, he talks about the fact that those days that we're feeling a bit low or moody or angry or just out of sorts are the days that our bodies are clearing things that if we held inside of us wouldn't be good for us to hold inside of us. So just bear that in mind, that everything is welcome. If you start to listen to yourself, what do I need? What do I need? What do I need today, this moment? It's the bird in the hand exercise in the Fearless program. That will really help you. And try not to run before you can walk. Okay? Try not to run into places that actually you're not anchored. You haven't got the support. You haven't got the backpack to guide you through. Get excited about it and then look, what do I need to be able to be in that energy? Come back and build up your reserves so that you're able to be in it. You've got your whole life. Go back to the prayer. So it's a bit of a ramble today. It's not a ramble. It's important information. I'm checking in with you. Okay, good morning, diamonds. Feeling deserving is the key to co-creating what is desired consistently. I deserve it. It takes commitment to keep showing up as we stumble on our way to align with our divine path. The ego will come to sing the dying swan song and make a fuss, asking for one last dance. Letting go of parts of you is quite hard, even if you are through. Because as humans, we get attached to that which we know, even if it's a load of crap. It's our choice where we choose to focus. Our divine design timeline is the jewel in the lotus. I am patient with my process. I am letting go of my ego bullshit. I am that I am. So the jewel is in the lotus. I put that in there because this was probably the first mantra I learned when I was training as a yoga teacher. And I admit, I had no idea what it meant. The jewel's in the lotus. And I'm sure, Google it, there'll be lots of philosophizing. For me, what this means is in this heart, in the lotus of you, the lotus comes out of the mud, right? So this beautiful, beautiful, gorgeous, pure flower comes out of the depths of the unconscious. That is the essence of our being. And the jewel is inside the lotus. So in your heart is your divine spark. Everything you want is in here. It's not outside. All of the codings of this universe are in here, right? That's not bullshit. That's true. All of the codings of the universe are in this energy center, and they're supported by the pumping of your heart. The beating of Earth's heart, Gaia's heart, the pulsing of her womb. You get why the creative, sexual, fertile stuff's all connected, right? So big shout out to you all. New Moon Meditation is on YouTube. Remember, if you want to get in touch about the Fearless, Empowered and Free to Be Me program, the group coaching, at the moment, my one-to-one is booked up for the next 3 months. If you want to do one-to-one coaching with me, please book a breakthrough call ASAP, because I've got a waiting list, and I don't want you to be waiting longer than you have to. For the group coaching, next round is finishing the end of this May, and we're starting in June, beginning of June, 12th of June. So if you want to join that, phenomenal, like the support that comes from working with the group. If you are lacking a soul tribe that are going to support you to lift your consciousness, then doing the group work is the place to start. Even if you want to do one-to-one with me, start with a group, okay? And then beyond that, we have Buddha Fields. So Buddha Fields is I'm going to be there in the women's area. I'm just going to give you the dates. So I believe it's July the 17th to the 21st. So I'm going to be at Buddha Fields if you want to come and check it out. And what else? I think that's it, really. Co-creation success is starting 18th of August, and then the next Fearless round is June the 12th. Oh, yes, the retreats. So deep diving retreat with me and the amazing Hannah. There's videos coming out. Basically, this is going to be a real treat. So if you want to have a really big shift really quickly and clear the way, then coming along to the 7th to the 9th of June is going to be the way to start that off. We're working with the wounds of the sacred, the inner feminine, masculine, and inner child, and evolving them to the sacred masculine, sacred feminine, sacred child. So this means like creating a healthy inner family so that your outer world is reflecting that. And that means activating all of the qualities that are going to support you to align with your divine design paradigm, the divine design timeline. And then the end of September, we've got a massive, beautiful festival party, the RozyGlow Enjoy Festival Party, which is basically gathering to fill ourselves up with inspiration, delight and joy and fun, and to celebrate how far we have come and where we're going next. So there'll be lots of feeding the soul, feeding the body, feeding the heart, feeding the mind. It's going to be amazing. Lots of yoga, cacao. I haven't quite put the timetable yet, but if you're feeling the call, come along. Love you. Take care. Have a magnificent weekend. Not sure I'll be doing daily prayers this weekend because it's my beloved's birthday on Monday. So we're going to be off this weekend. But if I do put something together, I'll let you know. Take care. Bye-bye.